A new U.S. immigration law just passed, and social media is screaming that green card holders could face deportation. Is your permanent residency really in danger, or is this pure hype? Watch this before you panic. Your green card and future in America may depend on it. First, I need to be very clear about something important. Nothing in this video is legal advice. I am not your lawyer, and I am not a government official. I do not work for uscis, ICE, or any other federal agency. What I'm sharing is general information based on publicly available sources and normal patterns in how U.S. immigration law and enforcement usually work. Your personal situation could be different. If you have a specific problem with your green card, your immigration case, or your travel plans, you should speak directly with a qualified U.S. immigration attorney. You're watching U.S. Citizenship and Visa, where the goal is to take scary, confusing immigration headlines and turn them into calm, clear explanations you can actually use. Let's start with the basic question: what actually happened? A new immigration-related law has gone through Congress and been signed. As soon as that happened, a flood of headlines and social media posts appeared, many claiming that millions of green card holders could now be deported, or that the entire system has changed overnight. Those claims sound dramatic. That's on purpose. Drama gets clicks. The reality is more focused and more limited. This new law does make changes, but it is aimed mainly at people who already have serious criminal convictions. Under U.S. law, it is an enforcement-focused law. It gives the government more tools and, in some cases, faster procedures in dealing with people who have committed certain types of serious crimes. It does not say any green card holder can now be deported for any reason. It does not create brand new grounds to remove permanent residents who are living quietly, following the law, and contributing to their communities. So, who is this law actually aimed at? The primary targets are lawful permanent residents and other non-citizens who have been convicted of serious criminal offenses that are already considered serious under immigration law. That includes violent crimes, major drug trafficking offenses, certain firearm offenses, other crimes categorized as aggravated felonies, or serious public safety threats. For people in that category, the law can streamline how their cases move through the enforcement system, reduce some opportunities for extended appeals or discretionary relief, make it faster for the government to execute removal orders after certain criminal convictions. For people with those kinds of records, this is a serious development. If that might include you or someone close to you, it is absolutely time to get personal legal advice, because the margin for error is smaller. But for the majority of green card holders, that's not the situation you're in. If you are a lawful permanent resident who has no serious criminal convictions, is working, studying, raising a family, paying taxes, has maybe a traffic ticket or some minor issue but no major crimes, this law is not a new direct threat to your status. It does not say that a speeding ticket or a parking ticket can now lead to deportation. It does not turn every small mistake into an immigration emergency. I know just hearing the words deportation and removal can make your heart speed up. You worked so hard to get your green card. You may have waited years, spent money, gone through interviews and background checks. The idea that a new law could just sweep it all away is terrifying. So let me say this clearly. If you are living here lawfully and do not have serious criminal issues, this law is not written for you. Your green card remains valid. Your basic protections as a permanent resident remain. You are not suddenly in a brand new, more dangerous category just because you have a green card. Now, let's go one level deeper and address specific myths. Myth number 1. Any small legal issue can now cause deportation for green card holders. Reality. U.S. immigration law has always distinguished between minor issues and serious crimes. This new law did not erase that difference. Traffic infractions like parking tickets, minor speeding tickets, or similar small violations are not suddenly deportable offenses. Even many low-level misdemeanors are not automatically the kind of crimes targeted under this law. Does that mean you should ignore any legal trouble? No. Any arrest or charge can have consequences and should be taken seriously. But the law we are talking about is focused on higher-level criminal conduct that was already a problem in immigration law even before this change. Myth number 2. Immigration officers can now just knock on your door and take away your green card instantly. Reality: the U.S. government cannot legally remove someone's permanent resident status on the spot without process. The system still has notices, immigration courts, procedures for presenting evidence, opportunities, sometimes limited but still present, to respond and defend yourself. This law tightens and speeds up some of that process in specific, serious cases. It does not give officers a magical power to walk around stripping green cards with no explanation or legal basis. Myth number 3. Naturalized U.S. citizens are now at risk of deportation like green card holders. Reality: there is a big legal difference between being a lawful permanent resident and being a U.S. citizen. If you have already naturalized, taken the oath, and become a citizen, you are a U.S. citizen. Citizens are not deported in the same way as green card holders. They are citizens by law. There is a separate process called denaturalization. But it has existed for many years, is used rarely, applies mainly in cases where the government proves that citizenship was obtained through fraud or serious misrepresentation. This new immigration law does not suddenly make denaturalization common or easy. If you became a citizen honestly, told the truth during your applications and interviews, did not hide major crimes or identity issues, your citizenship is not suddenly in danger because of this law. Myth number 4. Dual citizenship is now a problem and dual citizens are targeted. Reality: the United States allows dual citizenship. Many U.S. citizens also hold another country's citizenship. That has been true for years. This law does not say people with dual citizenship are in trouble. It does not force you to choose one citizenship over another. It does not suddenly treat you as less American because you were born elsewhere. If you obtained U.S. citizenship properly, holding another passport at the same time is not, by itself, a new problem under this law. Now let's talk to people who are not yet permanent residents, but are in the immigration pipeline. Maybe you have a family-based petition pending, are adjusting status in the U.S., have an immigrant visa case at a consulate abroad, are waiting on asylum, TPS, or some other protection application. You might be thinking, is this law going to affect my pending case? Will my application be denied because of it? For most straightforward cases, no. USCIS is still evaluating new applications based on the same basic eligibility rules as before. The law we're talking about focuses on enforcement in certain criminal cases, not on rewriting who qualifies for a family green card, or an employment green card, or most other immigration benefits. However, if your history includes arrests, charges, or convictions, you should already be working with an attorney. Criminal records were important long before this law. Now they may attract extra scrutiny. Let's move to practical steps you can take right now to feel more in control. Step 1. Do not overreact and do not make big life changes out of fear alone. Some people, when they hear deportation and new law, immediately start imagining selling their house, quitting their job, or leaving the U.S. forever. In almost all cases, that is not necessary and not wise without speaking to a legal professional first. For most green card holders without serious criminal issues, your daily life and status do not change under this law. Step 2. Get your information from solid sources. You should be cautious about believing random TikTok or Instagram posts, unverified WhatsApp forwards, videos that use scary music, and no real citations. Instead, when you want to know how this law works, look at official government websites like uscis.gov and justice.gov. Trusted legal aid organizations, immigration attorneys with a reputation for serious, fact-based analysis. Use channels like U.S. Citizenship and Visa to help you understand the big picture, but always verify legal details with official or professional sources. Step 3. If you do have any criminal history, even if it was years ago or felt small, consider getting a legal checkup. This does not automatically mean you are in danger. But knowing exactly how your record looks under immigration law is far better than guessing. An experienced immigration lawyer can review your charges and dispositions, tell you whether the offenses are likely to be considered serious under immigration law, help you plan ahead if there are risks. Sometimes people spend years worrying about something that has no real immigration effect. Other times they assume that an old conviction is no big deal, when in reality it needs careful handling. You will only know which one applies to you if you ask. Step 4. Keep your documents organized and safe. This is always smart, no matter what laws are in the news. Keep copies of your green card, your passport, uscis approval notices, any criminal court records, if applicable, your last several years of tax returns. If you ever need to answer questions, apply for naturalization, or respond to a notice, having these documents ready makes everything easier. Now, let's briefly talk about processing delays and how they affect how you feel about this law. Many of you are already dealing with long waits for green card approvals, delays in naturalization cases, rescheduled interviews, silence from uscis. That is hard. It can feel like your life is stuck in a permanent waiting room. When you add long waits to scary headlines about new laws, it can feel like something very bad is happening behind the scenes with your case. But in many, many cases, a slow application is just a slow application. The immigration system is backlogged. There are more cases than officers. Policy changes in recent years have added steps instead of removing them. None of that is good, but it is not the same as your case being targeted for denial or deportation. If your case is far outside normal processing time, you can. Check the uscis processing times for your form and category. Submit a case inquiry. Ask your attorney to follow up or escalate if there's a strong reason, but for many people, waiting is unfortunately just part of the journey. Finally, let's address travel, because many green card holders think, should I even leave the U.S. now that this law passed? If you are a lawful permanent resident in good standing with no serious criminal issues and a normal travel pattern. Short, reasonable trips. Abroad are usually fine. The main travel risks for green card holders are very long trips outside the U.S., especially over 6 months or 1 year, without proper re-entry planning. Trips taken when you have serious criminal issues in your record. Repeated patterns that suggest you no longer truly live in the United States. If your situation is simple, you work here, your home is here, you take a normal vacation or family visit, you usually do not need to be afraid of traveling because of this law. If your situation is complex, you should absolutely talk to a lawyer before leaving. Lastly, let's talk about the emotional side, because that is just as real as the legal mechanics. Immigration is not just about forms and laws. It is about safety, identity, sacrifice, and hope. When you read that a new law has passed, it can feel like everything is unstable again, even if you've been here for years. Your fear is real. It is understandable. You are not weak for feeling it, but fear by itself is not a good guide. Facts are, when you feel yourself getting overwhelmed, step away from nonstop news for a while. Limit how much social media you consume on this topic. Talk to people who know what they're talking about, not just whoever yells the loudest. Focus on what the law actually says and who it actually targets. Let's pull all of this together in a clear summary. A new U.S. immigration enforcement law has been passed. It tightens the rules and procedures for certain serious criminal cases. It gives the government more tools to remove some non-citizens, including some green card holders who have particular types of serious criminal convictions. For ordinary, law-abiding permanent residents, it does not create brand new reasons for deportation. It does not suddenly put your green card in danger because of minor issues or because you immigrated here. Naturalized U.S. citizens remain citizens with full rights. Dual citizens are not specifically targeted by this law. Small legal issues, like traffic tickets, are not magically transformed into deportable offenses. Due process still exists, even if in some categories it is narrower than before. The immigration system is still based on laws, rules, and procedures. It is slow and frustrating, yes, but changes do not happen in a single night to millions of people at once. Your best protection is not panic, it's understanding. If this explanation from U.S. Citizenship and Visa helped you feel more informed and less afraid, that's the goal. If you want more calm, detailed breakdowns of U.S. immigration news and how it really affects people, consider subscribing. If you have questions about specific topics you want covered in future videos, naturalization, travel as a green card holder, criminal issues and immigration, or anything else, share them in the comments. Your questions help guide what happens next on this channel. Thank you for watching all the way through. I know your time is valuable. Whether you are a citizen, a permanent resident, or someone still waiting for your own approval, I wish you clarity, stability, and peace. You worked hard to get where you are. You deserve to understand what is really happening, and to know when a law is truly about you, and when the headlines are just noise. Take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, and keep moving forward one step at a time. A very new U.S. immigration law just passed, and social media is screaming that green card holders could face deportation. Is your permanent residency really in danger, or is this pure hype? Watch this before you panic. Our green card and future in America may depend on it.